part of Arkansas, the 2nd Congressional District in Arkansas. We're glad to have everybody here in this beautiful new room overlooking the river. Mike, terrific remarks. Thanks for being in Arkansas, and glad you survived the arrival at Hillbilly Airport. Good show. Dave, thanks for bringing it to Arkansas. Good stuff. Well, I've got just a brief minute. I got less time than Griffin, and I talk more than Griffin does, so we're in trouble. I wanted to start out by telling you that what Donald Trump is doing is desperately in a one-man attack on draining the swamp in the United States Capitol, and working really hard on going down his list of the commitments that he made to the American people. And it's just that simple. He's a business guy. He's probably got, when he pulls out his left-hand desk drawer in the Oval Office underneath the telephone, that list, that checklist that said, repeal and replace Obamacare, cut taxes, reduce the regulatory burden, enforce the laws on the border, and right on down the list of things that he talked about during the entire campaign. And I want to tell you that there are people in Congress that are working to get that list done. They are. But to Mike's point, we're grinding away inside the bounds of the Constitution, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Some things get done fast, some things get done slow. But I wanted to start out today with one of the first things that Donald Trump talked about on the campaign trail, and that is the regulatory burden on the United States. And when I ran for Congress in 2014, I talked about the wet blanket of the regulatory system, having spent 35 years in business, and watching our whole ability to hire people, innovate products, start businesses, get a license to do something, get regulatory approval to do something, move a 55-gallon drum from one side of the plant to the other side of the plant, all bogged down. Whether you're in an OR in the hospital, trimming, giving shots to pets, building something in a manufacturing plant, trying to make a loan to somebody, everything is governed by the three-ring binders of the denizens, as Mike Gallagher said, up in Washington, D.C. So you can't see it, but it's a public record. I'm leaving it, and we can email it to everybody. This chart at the end of the room ought to tell you all you need to know on Donald Trump's first commitment to reduce the regulatory burden on entrepreneurs, families, and businesses in this country. That is the chart of Obama at the top, George W. Bush just under him. Those are the rules that cost this economy $100 million or more per year, $100 billion or more per year, that are announced and published in the Federal Register. That red line is Donald Trump's chart. And I don't think Federal Register pages are the way to look at it. So these are the number of rules that cost that much to the macro economy. Because, when we repeal a rule and reduce regulatory burden, what do we have to do? We've got to publish it in the Federal Register. So sometimes measuring things by number of pages isn't the way to look at it. But when you look at the $100 billion impact of a rule on our macro economy, this is a great way to look at it. And 3/4 of the bills that we've passed in Congress this year that have been signed into law by President Trump are all reducing the regulatory